everyone. Can you hear us? Can you see us? Please let us know in the chat. So guys, are we live yet? Can you see us? Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for your help. So, hi everyone. My name is Kate and I work for Crocoblock, and I am really glad to welcome you to our today's live conversation, our Q&A actually discussion on the topic of the JetEngine 2.4 update. And guys, just to let you know, just to remind you that this update was released pretty much recently. I guess it was on the 11th of June, if I'm not mistaken. And so all of your questions, all of your, issues and suggestions in regards to this topic, you are welcome to leave in the live YouTube chat box. So just before we get started, I would like to introduce you to our very special guest, our, I would say, code master, our CTO, our JetEngine creator, and, you know, our true WordPress fan, talented and simply amazing Andrew Shevchenko. Hi, Andrew.
Hi,
How
all.
are you doing?
Hi. Hi, I'm fine. Hope you too.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm doing fine as well. And just, tell me, are you ready for this discussion? Like, are you ready to answer all those questions? There might be some tricky ones.
Yes, I hope it's very new experience, but
Yes,
I hope it will be fine experience.
that's true. So just give me a second. Okay, wonderful. So you should be able to see the two of us right now. And just before we get started, I would like to, remind you of the updates that were included into the release. So I'll just read it out loud. So what was added to JetEngine since the 11th of June 2020? So we added data stores module. We added dynamic visibility module for sections, columns, widgets, which is pretty cool, especially to use it for design. So we added the ability to create repeater groups in the forms, which is really awesome. And we saw your reaction. We saw that you really liked it, and it's great. It's great to have. So we also added conditional logic for meta fields and also conditional logic for the form fields, for the forms module, which is really great. And today we'll touch this topic because we prepared, just for the start of the conversation, we prepared one of the cases connected to it. So we'll go over it as well. We added ability to delete the posts from the front end, which is also, really good feature to have. And we also set the input mask for the text fields in the forms, the one that you can use if you want to add, for example, numeric, well, not numeric, but the field for the phone number or for the bank card number or things like that. So we also added the ability to set the maximum number of the posts that a user can create from the front end, which is also pretty good to not get overloaded with all those posts and things like that. So we added the support of the select, radio, checkbox fields in the repeater, which is also pretty good to have. Support of the number field, and we also randomized the number of posts in the listing grid, which is also pretty cool. I was surprised by this by this feature, and I was surprised that you requested it, but it's pretty cool to have and pretty cool to use. We also added the automatic conversion of the Cyrillic into the Latin alphabet letters. And we also fixed the duplication of the meta fields. We fixed the support of the SVG previews, and we also fixed some other various bugs. So right now, we'd like to start from the first question that was asked actually in our Facebook community. It's in regards to the conditional logic, and Andrew will tell you more about it. Right, Andrew?
Yes, thank you. Let's start. To be totally correct, to related to dynamic visibility feature, and what is this? Let me share your screen to understand. Oh, yeah, shared. Kate, you already shared it to the. Okay, let's start. It was a very interesting case, and it's show some power of a new dynamic visibility feature. And to be honest, some minor bug was related to this case. We just fixed it and released it version 2.4.4 with this fix. And what this case is. As you see on my screen, I have a listing of the events, and each event have start date and end date. I sorted, still not sorted. Yes. Yes, already sorted. Page was not updated. Sorted it by start date to make it more structured. And now I want to show for each event badge, some badge. For example, for events which are currently active, I want to show badge current. For events was already ended, I want to show badge past. And for upcoming events which not started yet, I want to show badge upcoming. And this case is exactly demonstrate all possibilities of dynamic visibility feature. So let's start. I already make some preparations. For example, I created post type events with two meta fields, date for date start and date for date of the when the event will be finished. One note at this step that these fields must have this option checked, save as timestamp. It's because by default date stored in the database as string, and we need to store it as timestamp to make some operations with this date later. For example, compare it with some other date or query by this date or something similar. Also, I already created my listing item, which you already seen, and created my badges, current, past, and upcoming. So let's start. At very first, I activate dynamic visibility module in the JetEngine modules section. Then I refresh page here to make sure that my module is already applied to the Elementor. And then I start to add my badges. Let's start from badge current, copy it, paste, update. If I now check my front end, all my events are marked with badge current. But I need to, for example, mark only event 4 because it started yesterday and will finish only June 28th. So let's start. We go to advanced dynamic visibility section. Oh, sorry, already a bit prepared. Click enable. And what we need to do? Dates, events which already active should have a start date less than today. I mean, these events should already be started. So let's define first conditions. So it will be less than. Select custom field date. It's for date start. Select date type, date time, and value today. Today, it's in this case, it's reserved word, which will be converted to timestamp. How you can check for yourself if your regular word will be converted to correct timestamp? This will also work, by the way, for JetEngine queries by date. What you need to do, you need to go to Google, check, find this stir to time online. Stir to time, it's PHP function that converts regular word into the timestamp, and check, run. If result it's some number, so it converted. If result false, so your word could not be converted into correct timestamp. So my word could be converted into timestamp, but so it will be applied dynamically. Each time when user come to your page, this word today will be converted to current timestamp. So each time your values will be compared with current date. Update. And second condition to make sure that we show correct events, it's condition for end date. And our end date should be greater than today. Today. And type date time. So we will show only events which is already started and not still finished, still not finished. So let's check. As we can see, it works almost correctly. Why almost? Because event 2 has a start date June 26, and event 3 has end date June 26. So these events also should be must be marked with current batch. Let's fix this. Why this happened? This happened because timestamp for today are equal for my meta field and my compare condition. So I need to change a bit my compare condition. I will add some time to my start date. So my start date should be less, not exactly start of today, but some time from today. And also I change a bit this value. I make it bit less to make sure that events with end day, today's end date, are also be marked with batch current. So now we see that all our events are marked with right batch, are all events which is currently active. So let's quickly make all rest of badges. We will add badge past almost in the same way. Also check dynamically, show this we will need to show this base only if end date of the event already passed. So here we select end date. End date should be less than, and it should be less than today. Oi, sorry. And date type should be, data type should be date time. Let's check. And here we can see that all events which already passed are marked with beige passed. We can check dates, make sure that these dates already passed, really already passed, so it works correctly. And the last one we need to add, it's beige upcoming. Let's copy it. Also paste. Go to dynamic visibility. Here let's check another possibility. We can not only show element if some conditions are met, but also hide. Let's check how it will work in this case. So beige upcoming, we need to hide for all events which are already passed or currently active. So this means that we need it to hide for all events where start date already passed. So these events are already started or passed, totally passed. So let's then also here we need to set today. Date time, update, and check how it works. Yes, it works almost fine. As we see, it also mark upcoming with event with start date, which is today. So we need to change it a bit and add some value for today. For example, 1 day. Not 1 day, it's too much. 20 hours, for example. Update. And check. And now it works like we expected from start. As we see, all our past events are marked with beige past, currently active events are marked with beige current, and upcoming events are marked with beige upcoming. It's only a small example, but maybe it can demonstrate for you some possibilities and power of exactly this feature. And also this case was asked in our community, and we find it and very interesting, and decide to show you on this stream. So it's and for this case, and let's start with questions.
Yes. So, Andrew, there is one question.
Kate, maybe you already selected some questions to check.
Yes, Andrew. So we've got one of the questions in the chat probably related to this topic because the person is asking, is this also possible with different listing items with the listing grid injections, the thing that you just showed?
You mean inject some listing item depends on the meta value?
Well, probably yes, because the question is this also possible with different listing items with the listing grid injections?
For injections, it possible, but a bit simpler way. Maybe we will extend it to make it work to exactly like dynamic visibility feature works. So let's see. I enable injections module. Go to the page. Where it? Yes, here it is. And
Yes,
here.
So, like, is it possible to make different designs for each listing item? For example, different background colors depending on the date.
I want to show how it could work for now, and describe a bit how we will improve this in the future. I hope in the nearest future. So here we can inject alternative listing item, and here we could inject listing item depends on item field meta value, custom value. And here you can see also it could work with compare value, but unfortunately here, as I remember, I'm not sure, not totally sure at this moment, but if you will pass today into this field, it will not be converted into timestamp, so it will not work exactly this way like dynamic visibility feature. You can implement the same logic by adding listing different designs here in the same listing grid, but with different sections. For example, you can add 3 different designs, and for each section, you can set dynamic visibility exactly the way I showed before. But it's a good point to make the same logic for listening grid, so I think we will add this. I hope I covered this issue. Let's see.
Okay. So right now I'm just checking other questions. Yes, so we have another question in regards to the conditional logic for the post type. Would it be possible to implement?
In this way, hard to say because I not exactly understand the case, like how it should work. So I recommend to create issue for such case and describe in this issue how you see this logic, and we will try to implement it.
Yeah, basically just give us the live example, your idea, how you want to use it in your, just give us the use case that you plan to implement, and we'll think if it's possible. Yeah, so there are some questions in regards to the documentation. Guys, of course, we are updating the documentation and working on it. It's just that we've got so much things to do and so many interesting things to implement. So right now, if you have any questions in regards to the update, maybe you faced some issues, or maybe you want them to be, worked on more precisely, just let us know. So what else do we have?
I see issue about will be Crocoblock be extended to be compatible with other page builders like Divi or Breezy. At this moment, I can say that we planning to extend some our features to the Gutenberg builder, and any other plans for other builders we don't have at this time.
Yeah, so
by the way, some features already extended for the Gutenberg, for example, listings. Now we're working on the smart filters. It also will be available from Gutenberg. So with listing or WooCommerce records, you will be able to create dynamic filters without Elementor or only with your blocks editor.
So there was one question at the top. I noticed that there is often issues with the date formats. Do you plan to add an option to give us the possibility to customize the formats in the different fields and calendars?
If it's related to date format in the custom field at the edit post screen, yes, it's very often requested feature, and we already thinking about. But at this moment, we have some difficulties because a lot of people already use it in the format like we created, and such update may be related with some compatibility issues. When we will be ready to resolve all these issues, we add this option. Let's see what we have more.
Yes, there is a question in regards to the conditional logic. Yeah, and before that, so can you share information about the membership option for the JetEngine?
Yes, we already releasing the part of membership option. For example, in the 2.4, very tightly related to membership, it was exactly dynamic visibility feature. With this feature, you can restrict access to the some your content parts for different user roles. So it already some part of membership functionality. Also, we released it with 2.4 ability to restrict number of inserted posts by user role. So you can allow, for example, for subscriber to insert only one post, for user with more extended role, 3 posts or more, and etc. Also, we're planning in the nearest future extend dynamic or not dynamic profile builder to make it more membership oriented. Exactly, make different pages of profile builder available for different user roles. And hard to say what more features related to membership we will add to the in the future. It also related to the user requests. So it's for now it's all. What can I say about this topic?
Yeah, really quick question in regards to the forms. Do we plan to add the custom item template in other forms for the other fields besides the checkbox?
At this moment, I think no, because it's related with some user experience difficulties. So checkbox and radio fields, it's fields where such option was very easy to understand how it will be used and easy to implement. If we, for example, want to replace text input with some templates, it's hard to imagine. So I think in the near future we will not dig into this issue.
Yeah, so there is one huge question with the examples. So I'm not really sure, like, are we going to go over it? What do you think, Andrew? Yes, was the examples an explanation what is meant? So also in regards to the conditional logic, fields which have the conditional logic are creating a huge gap to the next field
Yes,
in
yes,
the
I
front
see.
end form. Yes, the only solution which the person managed to do was a workaround using CSS. So it would be great to have this option at a tab using Elementor, or the form could self-correct it, wrapping the elements that
We will
derive the
fix
conditional logic
this.
element.
It sounds like a bug, so we will fix it in the near future. Conditional logic for the form and other huge features was added in 2.4. It was only first iteration on these features, so we will search for such issues and fix it with next releases.
Oh, and also when uploading the PDF or the Word document or etc. through the front end, the file type is not showing and the file is not
Yeah,
uploaded to the
yeah.
CPT, which is,
I already seen this
yeah.
ticket in their support and already added also this to roadmap to the next releases. Because yes, I agree, it's bug. It's not some issue. It's thing which should be fixed, which must be fixed.
And again, conditional logic, our hero for today, probably. So there is a question if there's going to be conditional logic for the smart filters, Jet smart filters. What do you think?
Uh, it could be already applied in some way with. Oh no, it's not could be. I understand. Yes, I understand what was meant. And at this moment, we working on something like conditional logic for smart filters, and we name it hierarchy. And we will extend this feature. And at this moment, I think conditional logic in the smart filters will be presented only with hierarchy feature. I think we will extend it, for example, to use not only with select but with radio or checkbox field, and allow to use not only taxonomies but also, for example, related posts. For other kinds of conditional logic in the smart filters, I hard to say at this moment. We will discuss this inside our developers team when finish current huge iteration on smart filters. I think we will need to copy all this question about conditional logic in the forums to make sure we will check all of them and don't forget.
Yes, and they also should be available in the live chat after the broadcast is over. But we'll make sure to copy them for sure. So there is another question. JetEngine is perfect solutions for directories and classifieds websites, but it lacks one crucial feature: ability to monetize users' posts. Are you considering to add any options as themes edifier? Sorry.
Yes, it was request about some advertising manager from one of our clients in the past. But in this moment, we have it in the roadmap, but I hard to say when we will start to work on it because too much work on other Crocoblock components. As for monetize, we have one hidden feature I say about. I think I can already say about. It's payment gateways for JetEngine forms. This feature currently hidden because it's very feature which could create for us a lot of problems. So we added it, but still not using it a lot. So if anybody of our customers are interested in this feature, you can come to our support or live chat, ask about this feature, and we will work with you to help you implement it. It's all about payment gateways in the forms, not related with e-commerce, just JetEngine form and payment. It's about monetize also a bit. So
Okay.
let's check.
So there was another question, how we can extract the Jet booking data to CSV.
It's issue for feature requests at our GitHub. At this moment, you can export it only directly with PHP MyAdmin, for example, directly from database table. But I agree that this important feature, and we will add it to our roadmap. But to make sure we don't forget about it, better to add feature request at our GitHub.
And there is another question, like if we are planning to add Mapbox or OpenStreetMaps to our plugin, because they are a bit cheaper than Google Maps.
Yes, but it's also not nearest future. At this moment, we already planned some features for closest JetEngine releases. And after we will finish with this feature, we will start to work with different map providers for the maps listing.
Okay, thank you. And there is another question from Philip. Also, he wants to know if we have an option to attach media files to their respective posts and not to the WordPress media section. If not, if this function will be added soon.
I'm not sure I understand correctly, but you can use media control in the JetEngine forms. Maybe we'll quicker to show it. Let's create some form. Field type media. And here, if you not set this option, not check this option, your attachment will not be inserted into default WordPress media library. And it will be passed only as file URL. And you can save this file URL into post meta. So if this fit your needs, you can use it in this way. In some different way, I think it's not possible at this moment. So let's check what we have more.
Yeah, there is a question in regards to the. Oh, sorry, the chat just jumped to the top. Yeah, so about JetEngine, is it possible that the dynamic terms widget can also include, in addition to the title of the term, a field from custom image? So, for example, to display the logos of related football teams terms in the list item of the news item.
For such case, I think you can use nested listing and create listing of your listing of terms, designing it in any way you want, image, any links, title, any terms, metadata, and then add this listing into the post listing item and query terms by current post terms. Here I don't sure totally, but I think we have macros which could query only current terms of current post. If not, we will add it. It's not a lot of work, so we can add it with some minor release in a few days.
And there is a comment that using nested listings breaks the smart filters.
Yes, we already received this issue. Not sure from exactly this person or not. We will fix it, but we need a bit more time. Maybe week, maybe 2 weeks. Not sure at this moment, but it planned to the near future. Let's see what questions we have.
Yeah, guys, don't hesitate to ask questions in regards to this update, obviously, because we're talking about the update and all the new features. Because, like, I've seen there is a question in regards to the WooCommerce, Jet Builder, actually. So
Oh, I
it's
see
not
question
really
about
related. Oh, yeah, go
Google
ahead.
reviews.
Yeah.
Google reviews or Facebook reviews, and I can make a little sneak peek for the future. We planning something like this, but not in the Jet engine or Jet elements, but into the Jet review plugin. Currently, we preparing very huge update of Jet reviews, and one of the other iteration for Jet reviews, it will be exactly the fetching reviews from some third-party provider. But I can say that it will not be in the nearest future. We need months, 2 months, maybe a bit more for this. Yeah, I understand users' pain about this, but unfortunately, we have a very big stack of the issues we need to implement, and that's why some features planned for the past, for the longer time. Can say it in English correctly.
So I'm just looking through other questions. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so there is one general question, I would say. What is the roadmap of Crocoblock in the coming year? What are some big releases that we will be seeing in 2020?
it's too general question. What I can say at this moment that we planning 2 or 3 iterations on the jet booking and jet appointments to make it more powerful, more competitive with existing solutions. Also, we have a huge plans for updated jet reviews, and we'll continue on improving new features, adding and improving features of jet engine. Why it's complicated to say right now? Because it's very responsive thing. It could be changed very often. So we not planning our releases for a year, for example. We have only some general ideas, but some exact plans we have only for 2 or 3 months into the future, because things very often changes and change by user request, for example, or for market requests or something else. So something like this.
And yes, guys, we do plan to add more documentation and more tutorials. Just give us some time, please. And just, to notify you and to remind you that today we're talking on the topic of Jet Engine 2.4 updates. So all the questions related to this topic are very welcome to haven't seen the live chat box of the YouTube. So I guess I saw one of the questions. Okay. Oh yeah, this one. What do you think about to make different widgets for the meta field types? For example, switcher field, checkbox fields. Maybe can add more design control, things like that. It's not actually really related to the update, but anyways.
Can say that we planned something exactly like this, but why not? As I said, we were responsive in this way. So if we will receive some interesting and issue at our GitHub with suggestions, and we will think that this feature will be useful for a huge amount of our users, we will make it more. We will give more priority for this feature, and we will start to work on it and move down in our roadmap some other features. So why not?
Yeah, there was a question in regards to the rollback, and one of our guys is already answering that yes, we're thinking about it right now and thinking how to implement it. So
Yeah, we discussed it a couple of times on this week, on the previous week, and yes, its feature will be definitely added. But as I said today a lot of times, I can't give exact dates or something like this about when this feature will be added. But it will be, and it will be in the nearest future.
oh, look at this. It's a great plugin. That's why there aren't many questions. Thank you, guys. We're glad that you like it, that you enjoy it, that you use it in your projects, and it makes your life easier. So it's one of the best things about our job, to see you happy and to help you actually. Yes, there was another question. Hi, Andre. Wouldn't it be? Oh, just give me a minute. I'll switch
It's
the background.
I stopped
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So I'll also have to fix a little bit the chat box. Give me a minute, please. Yes, so there was a question in regards to if we are planning, maybe it would be more sustainable to a bit slow down the development, but to make it,
Yeah,
better.
I understand it's painful issue, and I can't say that speed have impact on the bugs or issues which appears after some releases. For example, let's take our one of the latest releases at the Jet engine. We added some dynamic capabilities for some options in the listing grid query, and that's why in some cases it breaks user browsers. It was very unexpected bug problem. It appeared not because we don't tested it. We tested each feature on different user cases, but real life user cases much more wider. So we physically can't catch all possible problems until it will be released, because we, for example, not cover some cases what sorry.
Yeah, so we actually cannot cover all of the cases that are, that
Yes,
exist in the world. And
yes, I mean something like this. So problems appear not because we don't test our feature before release, or because we try and release it too quickly. Problems appears because too many user cases exist in the real world. So unfortunately, I understand your pain. I understand that you want that these problems will never appear, but sometimes it will appear. And what I can't guarantee from our side, that we will make our best to fix it as fast as we can. For example, for the issue with broken layout or broken browsers after 2.4.2 update, we released fix after a few hours when we find this issue. I understand that users find it more quicker than we, but when we see this feature, this problem, we fix it in 1 or 2 hours, as I remember, and release the version with the fix.
and there are a lot of suggestions for the alpha testing, to create a program for alpha testers and to let our users to test the plugins before the release.
We testing major releases, for example, 2.4, 2.5. We will test and we will release beta and check issues and fix these issues. But sometimes you can change one tiny thing, and you checked all as you think all things what are related to this, and you clicking on the button release and thinking it was tiny thing. I tested all possible cases. What could be wrong? But sometimes it goes wrong.
Oh, here's another question in regards to the update, which is great. Thank you very much for that. So, can you please tell again a few words about the hidden feature? Probably it's about the dynamic visibility, I guess. But please correct me if I'm not
I
correct.
think it's about the payment hidden feature.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Uh,
So I guess it's better to specify what exact hidden feature you mean, Lillian.
let's speak about payment. If no,
Sure, go ahead.
yes, payment gateways. We added this feature some time ago, but we will not make it public because it related a lot of possible problems in different user cases. That's why these features are presented. This feature could be enabled from the code. This feature at this moment works only with PayPal. And how it works? You enable this feature from the code. After this, payment gateways meta box will be added to the forms edit screen. In this meta box, you can set up your PayPal API credentials and specify what notifications you want to perform before payment completed, what notifications you want to perform after payment completed. And then you also need to specify what field in the form will contain your price or your amount which should be paid. After this, when you add form to the page and press submit button, it before totally complete form purchasing, it redirects user to PayPal where he can finalize his payment, and after this will return to the form success page or error page. And for example, if you using this feature with insert post notification, you can pass into created post some data which comes from PayPal site. So, for example, was this payment completed or not? Amount of this payment, PayPal user email, etc. But as I said, I recommend use this feature only in tight connect with us to make sure it work properly for you, and for us it helps to make sure that this feature work like we expected. So it exactly will be some testing case.
Yeah, so it's better to contact us prior to enabling it and using it. And also, there was one question in regards to the JetEngine forms. So, are we planning on adding address autocomplete using Google's API for JetEngine forms?
At this moment, such feature was not in our roadmap. But as I also said today, you can add this feature into our GitHub page, and we will check it and try to implement. I think I need to duplicate this GitHub page into the chat because I said about it a lot of times, but maybe some users don't know exactly what I mean. Here it is. It's the URL where you can left any feature request, any problems report you want about any of our products. As you can see, there are a lot of issues already waiting to be implemented, but also a lot of features already implemented. So we continuously working on it.
Andrew, and are you like sharing the screen right now? Because I guess you're not. If you want to show this, the GitHub page with all the suggestions.
I mean, I send the URL of this page to the chat.
Oh, okay,
and that
great.
means if our users follow this link, they can see things I described. Closed issues, open issues, some issues status.
And there is another question. I was told once, JetEngine 2.0 release, that you guys are planning to add 3 levels of order systems in Jet Profile Builder. An example, administrator, seller, and buyer. Are you guys still working on it?
Yes, it will be added, I think, in 2.5 or 2.6, and it will be implemented like one single profile builder with pages which can be restricted by user role. So you can create, for example, profile builder with 10 pages, and some 3, for example, 3 of these pages will be available only for administrator, or next 3 pages will be available only for user, etc. At this moment, you can implement something like this with dynamic feature or dynamic visibility feature. If you have the same pages for different user roles, which have only different content. For example, if you for all user roles have page, for example, posts, for example, settings, and for example, account, and only difference for different user roles at it's in what these pages are displayed for exact user, you can use dynamic visibility feature to implement this.
Andrew, and could you please resend the link because guys don't see it in the chat if it's possible.
Here it is. Is it visible?
Oh, I guess the YouTube is blocking it. Maybe you can add a space or maybe some kind of symbol.
Let's try now. It's visible? Is it visible?
Not really. Well, anyways, I guess you mean the one that is on our GitHub page, right? Where people can see all the status of all the suggestions.
Let's try maybe like this, or not?
No, I don't see it yet. Well, anyways, if you guys want, we can leave
Unfortunately.
this link in the description after the broadcast will be over, so don't worry.
Yes.
Okay, so there was one question, like a general question, how much JetEngine is SEO friendly toward Google Engine. I'm not really sure
It
what you
mostly
mean.
depends on how you exactly implement your website, how you use a Jet engine on your website, because in the core of Jet engine, the same principle as in the core of WordPress. It's only register some post types, only register taxonomies, only register some meta boxes, and showcasing or renders some data on the front end from the database. So it can be totally SEO friendly.
It's just a tool and it depends on the way you use it. So, guys, we already talking for 1 hour. Can you imagine? 1 hour already passed. And seems like we just started. So, do you have any other questions related to Jet Engine and
Oh,
the
I
recent
see
update?
one note about speed test, uh, about amount of DOM elements. Yes, it's problem, and it's problem for all Elementor page builder. And for example, you can reduce this amount by using Gutenberg builder for listings. If, for example, if you have some simple listing and you have some basic knowledge of CSS, you can use use Gutenberg builder for creating listing item, and in this case, it will generate much less HTML elements on the front end than listing item created with Elementor. As I see also question about JetEngine data in a table format. At this moment, unfortunately, no. You can only style your listing item like in table-like format. But I think it's also could be nice feature to add it in future.
Yeah, we'll surely think about that. Oh, yeah. And there is a question in regards to the data stores. Would it be possible to enable an option for the user to save the same post several times in the future?
At this moment, not sure because I had to imagine a real case where it could be used. Collection of game of cards. Could you please create also issue with this case on our GitHub? It's I understand it's some interesting case, and I need to think about it. I hard to say right now, but maybe. Later will be a plan to add global database for the country, city, states, country. We planning something like this, not exactly for country, city, states, or it will be some feature, something like data store in your database for backend usage. it feature, yes, it also in our roadmap, but it's in the roadmap for later releases. I think for JetEngine 2.7 and after. So
So, guys, I guess we're going to be probably finishing our conversation for today because it's like 1 hour, 10 minutes already. So, if you have any of your suggestions, please submit your ideas, your suggestions, and everything like that on our GitHub page. Maybe we can spend a few more minutes on the last questions on the update if there are some. Yeah, and live sessions on the Woo Builder. Okay, we'll consider that for sure. So, yeah, any questions? Let's, yeah, can we talk about Oxygen Builder?
I think we can talk, but not in JetEngine context.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, thank you very much for staying with us for today. This live broadcast will be saved. So, to those of you who unfortunately didn't have a chance to stay with us live, will have a possibility to watch it afterwards. And if you have any questions, any suggestions, just post them on our YouTube. Post them in the comments on the YouTube channel. So submit your suggestions on the GitHub page, and also ask questions like in the Facebook community. And if you have any questions related to the functionality of the plugins, of the products, you are always happy. You're always welcome to, contact us in the chat and submit your tickets if you have any issues. So don't worry, like we are answering. Sometimes it takes some time, but there are a lot of you and there are a lot of things that, you have to spend some time on thinking about it. So yes, thank you very much for being active, for asking your questions, and thank you for your kind words as well.
Yeah, guys, thank you. It was a great experience.
Yeah. So we are working on the documentation. We are working on the tutorials. So yes, in the nearest future, you will see a lot of new information, a lot of new cool releases with really great features in the updates. Yeah. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day, evening, whatever it is in your place.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.